Cougs coming off another Apple Cup victory and found our fate yesterday into the NCAA tournament, so we look forward to our next match here.
It's a pretty exciting moment. Can you take us through the reaction inside Bowler when you got the word the team was not only going to the NCAA tournament but hosting a game as well?
Well, it's great. It shows the body of work that we've done this year, and this team deserves that. We've had a little bit of a roller coaster throughout the year, and but you got to love their fight all the way to the end here. And clearly, our last 3 games have set us up for this ability to host the game and get into the tournament.
During the selection show, that's an emotional adventure in and of itself when you see potential opponents or destinations pop up on the board. How is the mood with the team inside that room?
It's always intense. I mean, the NCAA, for the Committee for Soccer, you sort of have a little bit of an idea, geography, how they do things. So, there was some thought this may happen, but there was also some thought we'd get shipped out like we were last year. So, at the end of the day, it keeps you on edge, and it's an exciting time to hear that first you get in and then you get to host.
And then after being shipped off to Florida last season, was it nice to see the NCAA give a West Coast team like yourself the opportunity to play one more guaranteed game at home?
Absolutely. I mean, the West Coast, as far as this year, the teams are there's not as many this year. So for us to get a home game and the rest of the West Coast to get predominantly home game, it's a good way to start.
When you look at the factors that led to the NCAA's decision to give you this home game, what do you think stood out more in their minds? Was it the overall body of work, like you said, or this hot streak to end the season, or maybe a combination of both?
Maybe both, but our body of work. I mean, we beat a Seattle U and made the tournament. We beat our opponent we're playing on Friday. They're going into the tournament, obviously. We beat Minnesota, who won the Big Ten. We tied Stanford, who's won the Pac-12. And we beat UCLA, who's one of the best teams in America. So you look at that, it's tough to argue.
Like you said, geography comes into play. So how critical do you think was it for Montana to win the Big Sky and just be so close in proximity for you all to get this opportunity to have that home game?
Well, I mean, last year Eastern won, and they went to USC, and we're right down the road, too, and we got shipped out. So, again, you have your thoughts and ideas, but I think both teams, the timing has to work out, and records and all that good stuff.
You look at the hat trick from Morgan now, and then the team just dominating UW and Cal offensively. Is this team, again, you think, hitting its stride at the right time?
You hope so. I mean, it feels good. I mean, today was one of our best practices in a while here, and the energy, the amount of goals we scored today is something we're going to try to build on after what we just did these last couple of weeks.
In soccer, from time to time, the offense is going to dry up, but now that you can put that 5-game losing streak behind you and kind of more in a perspective, what do you think had to change after that road trip offensively for the team to rediscover its groove?
Well, we just had to rediscover our groove with some injuries that took place, and we had to stop feeling sorry for ourselves and continue to move on. That there's a reason why there's 27 field players on this team, and it's showing on now because we need them to play, and they're stepping up and doing their job. I mean, in that 5-game, I mean, let's be real, it's not even close to being a bad loss. Utah got 4th in the conference, and you lose to 2 of the teams that are on the bubble, and then you lose it to USC, okay, who's one of the best teams in America. So, yeah, the 5-thing loss hurt after the 10-game start, but really you break things down, healthy or not, this conference is loaded, and, I mean, we did a good job of rebounding. And that's one thing I always say is you got to be able to stop the bleeding, when things like that happen.
The injuries certainly have impacted the play in the defense in the midfield, but with all these new starters, it seems like there's a new sort of chemistry coming together on the run here. What can you say about the play of new starters and Hannah Goff and Katie Jones just really plugging up these holes and keeping the engine moving forward?
Well, they've done their dues. They're waiting their time. Number 1, they're fresh. Number 2, they're talented, and they're very coachable. Number 3. So you put that in there, and both those two were on that run we had last year. So it's nothing new for them. They were in games last year in key moments. So maybe they lost their spot to start the year, or we went 10-0 and I gave the other kids a nod, but they're back in it now, right where we're headed. So confidence in them because they've been there, done that.
Obviously, Mock had those 2 goals against Montana when he played them earlier in the season, but she was awarded that red card against UW. Without giving away too much heading into Friday's match, what do you have to do to adjust for this game with her not being able to be in the lineup?
Just keep doing what we're doing. I mean, Mock scored then. Unfortunately, she hasn't really scored much since then. She's a dynamic player. She's very dangerous for us, but so is everybody else in this team. So just like Ella went down, the next person up, and Rachel and Emma did their job, and Kayla went down, Elise went down. I mean, kids are stepping up. That's what's scary to me is that you lose somebody, the players now are only stepping in that role, but other players are even rising their game, like Morgan Weaver.
Looking at Montana a little bit more, you had that 3-1 result over them in September. They got off to that 1-5 start, but they won their Big Sky tournament to get in, and they shut out all 3 opponents. I mean, have you observed any subtle changes that they've made throughout the season, particularly on defense, just given where they were at then and now?
We're watching film, obviously, and their team and coaching staff is very confident. They said that this is a great winnable game for them, and they're ecstatic about their draw. I mean, we're fortunate enough to be in this tournament. We're excited about that, and we'll give them our best shot on Friday night.
You think about when you played them, though, back in September, the team was fresh off of Ella's diagnosis and that injury against Idaho, and there was what we'll say a questionable press release from Montana. Can you take some confidence in that previous result going into Friday?
I mean, it's just a new game, different time of the year for both teams. I mean, talk is talk, and on the game, we'll just go out and play our game and give it our best shot again.
And last one for me now. You've got one more guaranteed game at Lower Soccer Field. I think we can say this is one of the best home field soccer advantages in college women's soccer. What can you say to the Cougar fans for their continued support and the opportunity they have to see you play one more time?
They're a big positive reason why we are where we are, and we appreciate their support here and around the community and coming out to Lower Soccer Field. We wanted to get them out there for an NCAA tournament game. There's not many times on any campus you get to host an NCAA tournament game, just the way things are, the dynamics. So bring them on out. Let's come on out on Friday night and continue to support the Cougs.
Any questions online?
Yeah, Coach A, this is Daryl from Blazer Nation.
How we doing?
Hey, good. And you?
Good, thanks.
Hey, you got to be ecstatic about this. I mean, this is just amazing. This is great.
Yeah, we're definitely excited. I mean, for sure. I mean, again, been a little up and down. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I was trying to figure things out. We still obviously are, but to see what this group has done from the start through the middle to the finish, we're definitely on a high right now for sure.
You talked about the fans. Well, what do you say to new recruits when you try to tell them about the positive aspects of Washington State University?
Well, we can't really get into that too much. I mean, they see it, they watch it on TV, they come for visits, and you know, it's just a great environment when we come out there. Family, student athlete, it's one of the top in the country for sure, if not definitely on the West Coast.
Have you ever been told "Go Cougs" by someone who actually doesn't know who you are?
I think I lost you there. No, I have not. Traveling. You mean when traveling? You mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We get that. Oh yeah, we get to the airport anywhere in the country, in the region, East Coast, West Coast, out of international. Absolutely, we get to go Cougs all the time. We love that, and the girls do. Every time we take a flight, that happens every single flight.